Hello, I'm Dr. Alan Siegel. Thank you for watching. Our show is to educate you on intelligent health and wellness choices. Today we have a very special guest, Glenn Tobias. He's a registered dietitian and nutritionist, and we're happy to have him.
Thanks for having me today.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here. Glenn, I know you've worked with a lot of clients and patients over many years.
Yeah, quite a few hundred actually at this point.
What are the keys to a very effective weight management program that you've developed?
Well, there's a lot of things to that question actually. Some of the things that you need to be worried about if you're looking for a program is too low of a calorie diet. I think that's the issue that a lot of people fall into. I really don't like the term diet. I'd rather have it be more of a lifestyle. If it's too low in calorie, you're going to get muscle breakdown. You're not going to be able to maintain your own lean body mass, because I think the program that I put together is E3, and that's eating, exercise, and education. So for people who just want to go on a diet and lose their weight, I don't think that that's really the most effective thing you can do. I think exercise is a vital component.
Right, and I think that's important to reiterate the education part, because a lot of people really don't know, how to eat and what really
Well, I'm going to correct you. I'm sorry. Most people do know how to eat, because if they didn't know how to eat, you'd be dead.
Right.
They don't know how to eat to make them get to where they want to go, if
Right.
that makes sense.
In terms of reaching any specific goals
goal.
and
Correct.
health-wise, okay.
I think that that's more of the problem.
So when people hear about all the different kinds of diets that are out in the industry, high protein, low fat, no carb, what's your personal feeling on that?
There's a new diet every day. If you can stay on a program a year, 2 years, indefinitely, then that's for you. Most diets are not made for that. They are go on and go off. You lose some weight, and they're more concerned with the scale, whereas with most healthcare professionals, I think it's more of a body fat. We want to decrease your body fat and increase or maintain lean body mass, because the muscle burns fat. The more muscle you have, the more fat you burn. So you'd like to hold that. Because if you didn't eat right now, if you stopped eating for 2 weeks, every day you'll lose weight, but every day by percentage, you get fatter. So that's actually not something you'd want to do. You have to feed that muscle to burn the fat.
Okay, so in other words, you have to have a properly balanced program that allows you to get the amount of calories you need to lose a certain amount of weight,
Right.
On a weekly or monthly basis.
Well, considered excellent is 1 pound of fat loss a week. Now most people go, whoa, I want to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. You can't gain 30 pounds of fat in 30 days, so you can't lose 30 pounds of fat in 30 days. 1 pound a week is considered excellent. Half a pound is considered good. So if 1 pound of body weight is 3,500 extra calories, that's what it would take for you to put on a pound of body weight. What I want to do is find out how many calories that your body needs, and I'm going to give you 500 calories below that a day. So that's the deficit I would work with, 500. 500 times 7 is 3,500. There's a pound a week. Anything lower than the 500 calories a day, that's where your problems start to come in, because you start to lose more lean body mass, and then that's the problem. You want to maintain that.
And I think a lot of our viewers would probably, not understand that losing too much weight too quickly is not a long-term solution for them, and that's not really recommended in your program. It's really a lifestyle program.
Well, the only way to lose weight quickly would be dehydration, like a no carb or low carb diets. That causes an intramuscular dehydration, and then you lose a lot of water weight quickly, but you're not less fat.
Okay.
You just weigh less. So you go, oh, this is great, I'm weighing less, but you don't look any better. The point is, most people want to look better.
All right, so are carbs the enemy? People always ask carbs. Are they the enemy? Should we not be eating carbs?
Carbs are the main fuel source of the body. Everything is an enemy in excess. We eat too much of everything in this country. But in general, if people say, do carbs make you fat? The answer is no.
Right.
But yes, if you eat too many.
Right.
You need a balanced meals, proteins, fats, and carbs, all together at every meal, at every snack. How many meals a day do most people eat in this country?
Yeah, probably 2 to 3.
2 to 3, because we have names for them.
Right.
Right? We have breakfast, lunch, and
Sure.
dinner. Most people don't eat breakfast because they're late, they're running out of the house. They have a, quote unquote, they'll have a healthy lunch. Healthy lunch is, they'll have a salad with a piece of grilled chicken on it, and then they go home and eat dinner, a huge one. Probably they eat too much, feel terrible, lay on the couch and wish they were dead. The problem is, if you have to eat more during the day. So you need to eat something for breakfast. People say, I don't like eating breakfast. It doesn't matter what, but you need to have something, breakfast, lunch. You have to have something between lunch and dinner. You need a snack. I don't like the word snack. I gotta be honest.
In between meals.
Yeah, because snack, everyone thinks, well, what's a good snack food?
You like to
Is a
eat something
100
right.
calorie pack no. A snack is just it's a small meal. I don't care what it is.
Right, so
but
some sort of fuel for the
you can
body
call
to
it
keep
dunch,
it going.
Linner,
Right.
I don't care. But you need to have, every 4 hours you need to eat, because that spikes your metabolism.
Your metabolism, that's very important. Right?
Absolutely.
And you never want your glucose levels to go too low. You know,
Well,
you've
now
always-
you're talking blood sugar,
yeah.
sure. That helps with the timing of the meals. So you want to go maximally 4 hours. If you can do 3, that's even better. Big fan of the 3, if it fits into your life. See, everything has got to be customized for you,
Yes.
based on the foods you like, because everybody's grandparents came from different countries. So what foods make you happy don't make other people happy. So you can't have cookie cutter diets. It has to be something that you'll eat every day and enjoy. So the what is not nearly as important as the when and the how much.
Right. And I've
Those
always
are the
heard
keys.
I've always heard you say there's no bad food, you know, and people say
Correct.
there's good foods and bad foods.
I
Tell me why there are no bad foods.
Because you shouldn't feel bad, or you shouldn't think of something as bad. It's food. It's good.
Yeah, and if you're going to eat something, you need to eat. So
There are good food choices, and then I will say there are better food choices. So in my opinion, there are better foods to eat than white rice. I would say brown rice is better, but I don't like to have people think of white rice as bad.
Yeah. What I think is unique about the program that you've designed is that you take the patient or the client's food choices, what they like to eat, because not everyone likes to eat the same foods, and you actually design a program based on that, which is very unique in the industry because you allow them to eat what's comfortable for them.
Because then
and
you'll eat it.
they'll eat it and they'll
Because
stay on the program.
I can give you alfalfa sprouts and tofu, right? And for 2 weeks you'll do it because you're motivated and I can do it. After 2 weeks, you start to hate the food, start to hate me, and then it falls off.
And we don't want our clients hating us, right?
No, that is not
Yeah.
the goal. But success is, and success is over time.
Yeah.
And if you can continue to eat it, then you're going to win.
And how do you work with your clients? What's the best goal for them in terms of staying on a program? Sometimes people, they go on programs, they come off them, they're looking for results very quickly. How do you manage that?
That's a good question. How do you have them stay on it? When you're working with me, you're not on a diet. I'm not restricting you in really what you're eating at the beginning. It's all in steps. It's progression. At the beginning, if you eat a bacon double cheeseburger every day for lunch, I may just have you eat a bacon cheeseburger, just not do the double. So I'm not going to have you eat alfalfa sprouts and tofu right at the beginning.
Right.
That's too much of a shock to the person. If you've been eating a certain way for 10 years, 20 years, or what have you, I'm not here to tell you you can't do that anymore.
Can't just change, right? You
No,
have to
slowly.
Slowly.
So we
right.
move it to calorically. I deem it calorically cheap in the meals because everyone understands money.
Right.
And
So
high calorie foods, I say, are expensive. Lower calorie foods are cheap. So everyone understands that celery is cheaper than cheesecake because cheesecake is very calorically expensive.
Yeah. And earlier you mentioned about caloric maintenance. How do you determine what someone's caloric, expenditure is? What is your methods there?
There are formulas for that, and my computer software takes care of that for me to determine what are the calories that your body needs to maintain itself right now.
I mean, that not everyone's the same.
Nobody's the same.
Everyone's different.
Nobody's
so
the
someone
same.
may need 2,200 calories, someone maybe 1,800.
Maybe need 2,250 calories.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really
It varies by age, weight, gender, all of those things.
activity level.
So that's why different types of diets don't work because they're all the same for the same kind of person. Where yours is a little bit more specific to that person.
A lot more.
A lot
It's
more
completely
specific.
customized. Because
Yeah.
if you go to a doctor or you go to a diet center and they give you a meal plan or they give you a diet, what if you don't like the first food you read?
Right.
So then you can't do it or you won't stick to it for
Right.
the length of time necessary to get the results.
Or you get like a soup in a box or soup in a whatever it is that we just throw those away and
Soup in a box.
yeah, whatever. With some of those meal plans where you walk out with the foods. That's not the
Okay.
kind of program that
No, I
this
don't.
is real food, whole food. This is food
Right.
that
I mean, it's food that you make or you like. If you want to
Yeah.
have food delivered to your house, we can work with that too.
it's
That's
just whatever's out there.
whatever makes you happy.
Now you mentioned fat loss versus weight loss. People may not understand that there's a big difference in how people actually lose weight. Do they lose fat? Do they lose weight?
Well, like I said, if you stopped eating, you'll lose weight every day.
Yeah.
But you want to maintain muscle because muscle burns fat. Most people want to lose fat because basically that's what covers your body and makes people unhappy with the way they look. So most people are in this for vanity.
for vanity.
They
right?
say health, but a lot of it's vanity also. I mean,
Okay.
and I think that you need to work out. So I think exercising is critical.
Exercise.
If you don't use it, you lose it. We can't afford to lose
And
muscle.
how do you incorporate exercise into your program? Because it is education, eating, and exercise. So that is the third component of E3. So how do you incorporate that? You just
Again, it's part of what do you like to do? I mean,
Yeah.
and I have clients that hike. I have
whether it's walking, or,
cyclists.
right.
I mean, I deal with two separate types of clients. One would be the average person just trying to decrease body fat, and I've been doing that for 17 years. And now more recently, I'm more into elite athletes because I'm a board certified specialist in sports dietetics,
Right.
one of about 350 in the country.
Okay.
And I'm dealing more with NFL Combine hopefuls,
Sure, getting people to
NHL
get
hopefuls.
maximum potential, essentially, get whatever their peak can be physically, athletically.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Because I equate it to your body is just a machine. Everyone understands a car. So if you take your car and you put water in the gas tank, what happens? You can't drive.
You can't drive.
But you can put Twinkies in your body, and you'll be able to move. You get out of bed, and you'll feel okay.
Yeah.
But to maximize your performance, you have to eat. Performance eating is a whole different level of nutrition for that kind to get the maximum out, because you have a lot of talented people out there, and you need every edge you can. So you want to get as much out of your machine as possible.
Now, speaking of the machine, the lean muscle mass is so important.
Yes.
What does the muscle do, and why is it so important to our metabolism?
First of all, it does look good. That's what people. That's the look that everybody
Sure,
wants.
everyone
They want
wants to look good, right?
Leaner look. It also that's what burns your fat. There is no such thing as a fat burner in a bottle. Supplements, they are supplements. They are not primaries. If they did the job, they would be called primaries. This is not the case. So you have to work out, increase that muscle, so the muscle can then burn the fat. That's the goal.
Yeah, and I think that's key to reiterate. Muscle burns the fat. The more muscle, the
more
easier it
fat
is
you
to
burn.
fat
And a lot of people say, I don't want to work out weights because I don't want to get bulky. You know what? If you're working out with a trainer, or you have the right protocol, you won't get bulky. It's not going to happen. You just want to maintain what you have, because there's something called sarcopenia. That's just age-related muscle loss and fat gain. So as we age, you lose muscle every year and you gain fat every year. So that's why when you're in your 20s, you look a certain way, and then you get to your 30s and then 40s and then 50s. Every decade, you see a change in how you look, because it's not overnight.
And I think that's important to mention, because hormones, play a big role in weight loss and weight gain and various,
Sure.
endocrine conditions. You've described something in the past as a hormonal trifecta. What does that mean with cortisol levels? People always ask about cortisol, and they don't really understand what it is and how it affects the body.
Sure, that's really what I deal with. Sleep. It all starts from a good night's sleep. So, I deal with nutrition, but I have to look at the whole client, the whole patient as a big picture. And sleep is critical. If you're not sleeping, your cortisol levels will go up, because the body considers that a stress.
Right.
So cortisol is a stress hormone, and it is catabolic, or breaks down muscle. So if you don't sleep enough, you're in a lot of trouble. So somebody goes, I only need 4 hours of sleep. So you think, I need you to get more. So my clients would have to sleep 7.5. My athletes sleep at least 9.
Yeah.
You have to, because you're working out, you have to recover, rebuild the muscle that you just tore up.
You have a lot of critical control points in the program, sleep being a big part of it, and I think that's very important that people understand. Sleep is so important in not only helping with weight loss programs, just overall health, decreasing inflammation. The body needs to repair itself at night. If that cortisol and your adrenal glands are kind of jumping all over the place, it's very difficult to lose weight, or
Could be impossible.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you also, if you're not sleeping enough, ghrelin is a hormone in your body that makes you hungry. That rises.
yeah.
So that then you are hungrier,
Right.
And then leptin makes you feel full, and that's suppressed. So now you have all these things going on in the body, because
So hence the hormonal trifecta. And
Right.
That's really
Those
becomes
three
the
things.
issue.
And
And
then
you're fighting all three at the same time, and you can't. What other critical components would you say are important, just as maybe as much as sleep in your program?
in terms, just to get back to sleep for a second, if you're not going to sleep more, then as a client, I have to tell people that you're fired.
You fire your clients.
I have to.
Yeah.
Because if you can't sleep more, it's not, I don't want to say it's not your fault, but you're really not going to get the results you're looking for.
But I appreciate that. If you can fire your client, that means you care, and that means
It's
you
just
want
not,
them to
it's not
get the
going to
results.
happen.
Right.
It just won't happen. So, I mean, you need to stop watching,
Yeah.
something on
Something
TV.
delayed in right?
Exactly.
And you mentioned supplementation, which is interesting. I've worked with supplements over the time. Is it important to supplement? People always ask, what should I take? Why should I take it?
Well, I think it's important, because I don't think, ask yourself, do you eat 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day? And optimally, different fruits and vegetables.
I'm not going to lie, but I try, but I probably don't. No.
You don't.
Yeah.
Nobody does.
Right. So he's calling me out. I don't.
Of course you don't. But the point is, the American Medical Association has even said that every adult should take a multivitamin because it's nutritional insurance. It can't hurt you, it can only help. You have car insurance, right?
Right.
You don't plan to crash.
No.
Right, same thing.
Yeah.
It just makes sure that you have.
So and then there are certain vitamins that could help maybe aid in the weight loss program to some degree, or
Well,
they're just more specific.
You have to be careful of those.
Yeah.
If anything promises you 30 pounds in 30 days,
Right.
that isn't going to happen.
Exactly.
No.
That's why I think it's critical that people, when they do buy supplements or they do work with professionals such as yourself, they understand the products that they're taking.
Well, who made the products?
And who made the products, exactly. Where are the natural resources from, where they're being
Sure.
developed, who actually made the ingredients that are in there.
People look for the cheapest supplements, though,
Yes.
and I find it funny because what in your life do you buy the cheapest of? I will bet you not even toilet paper.
Nothing.
Right,
Yeah.
of course not.
Yeah.
So why would you want to take the cheapest product that you can find that you're going to ingest?
Absolutely. You always
Right.
want to find better products
Well,
out there. So.
I'm not saying go for the most expensive, but you have to go for what is reputable or third-party tested or at least manufactured in a facility that uses GMPs or good manufacturing practices.
Yes, the GMP is important this way that it's controlled and that they're at the highest quality, basically. So that's very important. So
Sure.
when people go to different stores, they don't always know, they don't get the right advice. And
Well,
that's a concern. So
That's
we
actually.
won't mention any stores, but
No, but who's working at the stores? You have to
Exactly.
be careful. And you also, people always say, well, I read that. And you have to be careful because my expression holds true. Crazy people know how to write.
Yeah, right.
So be careful what you read because, everybody's online reading this, reading that. And it's great and it's scary all in the same time. So
So let me ask you, I always ask my guests, what has been one of your best success
You
stories?
always do?
Yeah, always. What is one of my your best success stories?
Well, I really wanted to get back to the supplements because I think that
Okay,
that's
we'll
actually
be
kind of,
more, yeah.
I think just really quickly, you said what would I recommend? I do think a multivitamin should be taken daily.
Okay.
I think a good antioxidant and a calcium.
Right.
And calcium can help you sleep better. Studies
Okay.
are showing that. Studies show that people who take calcium supplements are leaner than people who don't.
Okay.
So that's
an
also
interesting
see
fact,
if I can't get them with the health, I get them with the vanity part.
Right, right. Well, that's good.
But
You
those
have
are
to-
good.
You have to show them a reason why to take something
Absolutely.
and give them some evidence behind it because that's what people don't understand.
And an
So-
omega-3,
Right. And
not
if they look
a
better,
369. Sorry, I keep.
No, it's okay. That's fine.
I'm very excited.
Yes. So everything needs to be in line with what the program is doing for them and what the patient needs. It's
Absolutely.
just individualized, which is important.
Sure.
Now, back to your success story. Tell me about a client you worked with that and how it went in terms of you weren't sure if the program was going to be the right person. How were you able to work with that particular patient?
I've had a lot of clients.
Yeah, I know
over
you've
time.
seen thousands, so I just want to hear
Well, I think that a lot
when it
of
gets difficult, because it's difficult. Weight loss is a difficult problem. I mean, our country's getting obeser by the day, and the statistics show that
More
we can't
obese,
lose weight.
right?
More obese. Every time you look at a statistic, it's going the wrong way. So we want to know why these programs for most people don't work, and how your
Well,
program is successful.
Well, first of all, human beings crave sugar, fat, and salt. So all the fast food companies and the restaurants, they know this. So they do studies and they determine how much salt is enough salt, but that where you don't think it's too salty, and the fat and the sugar. And they have these charts, these graphs. They know. So the food scientists make the foods. The chefs really don't deal with it too much anymore. So in terms of my success stories of my clients, I've been doing weight management for about 17 years. I kind of know when I meet somebody if they are going to do well, because it has to be, if you want to do it, then you will. But if your wife wants you to do it, it's really a different story.
Right, so there's a big psychological component to any person trying to lose weight.
With food, in general, a big
with food.
psychological component. Because if you have a good day, what do you want to go do? Eat and drink. If you have a bad day, what do you want to do? Eat and drink.
Eat and drink.
So it's everything with emotion is so interrelated to food that your nutrition sessions become more.
Speaking of drinking,
Counseling.
what's your opinion on alcohol? Obviously,
It's delicious.
it's delicious. But what does it do for someone
It's
trying?
not. It's really no. It's not a good thing if you're looking to decrease your body fat, because proteins and carbohydrates are 4 calories per gram. Fat is 9 calories per gram. Alcohol is about 7 calories per gram. And the calories that you consume with alcohol pretty much go directly to fat storage. You don't use them like you do proteins, fats, and carbs. so the body just kind of stores it. It's a little bit different. And if you have a pina colada, margarita, big whipped cream,
Sure.
yeah, it's about 1,000 calories.
So that's one of your criteria for being on your program, to stop drinking,
No.
or just to
No.
limit the drinking?
Well, first
you
you
make
have to-
deals, right?
Well, we get to deals, sure. But you have to find out what the client likes to drink. What is your drink of choice? I like beer. Well, how many do you drink a week? 10. Okay. Can you drink 8?
Sure,
Can you drink 8 light beers?
absolutely.
Then there you go. That's the first step, because now we just cut hundreds of calories out of your diet.
Okay.
Is that the end? Is that the ultimate? Probably not. It would be the best to stop drinking, but a lot of people don't want to.
Right.
And you have to weigh how important is that to you? The drinking versus weight loss, fat loss.
Yeah, well, that's an important thing. People have to understand that if they, they break an egg, so to speak, as you say, they don't just throw away the dozen, essentially. If you have a drink, don't go eat 10 pieces of pizza. Just get to your next meal and start eating healthy.
Sure.
Again.
The
Get
egg
back on
theory.
the program, yeah.
The egg theory, right.
Describe the egg theory. I
Right.
love the egg theory.
If you go food shopping and you buy a dozen eggs, and on the way home one breaks, do you throw away the dozen?
No.
No. So if every meal you think of it as its own individual egg, and if you break that egg, do not throw away the day or the week or the month. Today, if no one starts a weight management program midweek, they all want to start on Monday.
And Monday's a big diet day.
Right. Because you had brunch on Sunday
Big
and
diet day for me. I understand. Some days, you just feel you got to get started again. So
absolutely. But the thing is, if you have a big brunch on a Sunday morning and you went and you ate too much, bad foods, I can't eat too high in calories, then they go, you know what, I'll just start tomorrow. But it doesn't work like that, because food is a cumulative poison, and over time it becomes a problem. So if you just ate a big brunch, but then you went right back into your meal plan, I mean, you can't get fat in one meal.
yeah.
You can't get fat in one day.
So it takes time. Now, in terms of predicting success, well, what do you tell your clients on, what do they need to do? What's absolutely critical for them to get what their goal is?
I think making the deal, like you alluded to earlier, is more important really than anything, because in your life, what do you like to be told what to do? No one likes to be
no
told
one
what
likes
to
to
do.
be told.
Nobody. So we make deals. So if I said to you with the 10 drinks a week, can you drink 8? And you said, yeah, I'll say deal. And what's rule number 1?
Don't break the deal.
Don't break the deal.
Right.
Because you're telling me that you can do that. I'm not telling you, you can't drink anymore. And I've had discussions, slightly heated, with other healthcare professionals who say, how do you let your clients drink? I said, what do you mean by let? And that's where we have a problem, because it's all part of living your life. And if you can do it over time, I have clients who I drink 1 glass of wine every night. And I just met with this client, and she said, well, I stopped drinking during the week. I said, why'd you do that? She goes, because I didn't need it. She made that decision.
She made the decision.
And now she's doing much better, because you have to figure a glass of wine. Is it a glass in a restaurant, or is it a glass that you poured?
That you poured,
So
right.
it's probably a lot.
Okay, so I wanted to find out about education, for young people. For obesity for younger kids is becoming a problem. So
It's epidemic.
it's epidemic. What can we do as parents, as educators, as teachers, as government officials? Where do you think we need to get in there and start saying, hey, there's a major problem here, and it's costing our country a fortune in medical expense.
Sure.
And it's not just children, it's the whole country, but it starts at that age. So,
Sure. But we have the fittest thumbs on the planet, though.
Yes.
Break the video games.
Yeah, well,
Now every kid on the planet is just going to shut this right off. But you know what? When you were young, did you go outside and play?
Of course, we were outside all the time. Yeah.
Right,
So
yeah.
just staying active and being active.
You have to be active.
yeah.
Do something that you like. If you don't
Right.
like playing baseball, then don't. But find something that you do like to do and do it.
And what about food choices that parents make for their children? Isn't that just as critical to and what they're feeding them, what the schools are feeding them, and
Well, they have 2 different things going on. Remind me about schools in a minute. When you go out for dinner with your kids, they have the kids menu, the children's menu. The best thing you can do for your kids is throw that away.
stay away from the.
Have you ever
children's
seen
menu.
what the children's menu is made up
it's,
of?
It's all fried foods, all garbage for the
Chicken
most part.
fingers,
oil,
Hot
more
dogs,
oil.
right? It's
Yeah.
the worst. It's the worst foods because kids like that.
Right.
Okay, because that's what you give them.
Yeah. So we're all at fault. You know, the restaurants, the parents. We have
The
to
restaurants aren't. The restaurants are trying to make money.
right.
It's us making it. It's just easy
So
for
we're
us.
better off. So that's a good point. If we're at a restaurant, we're better off looking at the entire thing and find out what our children can eat by sharing a meal, splitting another meal, something that's a little bit healthier. That might be something that we would choose for ourselves, and just stay away from the children's
It
meal.
starts at the beginning when they're little. It's what you feed them is what they eat.
Right.
And it's easy for us to drive through a drive-through, but sometimes that's not the best.
And sugar,
for them.
you know, sugar in their diet, and you know, all the different, you know, activity levels, obesity, attention deficit. That's, you know, an issue as well with sugar and, you know, other things. So
Well, poor diet, I think, leads to a lot of different things. So.
okay. Now the E3.
But you talk about the schools also. You
Yeah.
made mention of schools.
the schools.
They have certain budgets, and budgets get cut and cut and cut, but they still got to feed the kids. So you can get a lot of hot dogs, or a little bit of chicken. I mean, grilled chicken breast is more expensive than hot dogs would be.
Right.
So the schools have to feed the kids, and you know, macaroni and cheese goes a long way.
Yeah.
So it's a money issue, and if
Have you worked with children before or adolescents?
yeah, actually, I'm working at the Boys and Girls Clubs, and I'm doing a whole I'm
Okay.
doing an 8-week program with sixth to eighth graders.
And how much you have to modify a program like this to adjust for caloric intake for younger children?
You don't want to
versus-
restrict kids.
Right. You
because-
want them to take in more calories.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, so they can grow. You don't want to stunt them, but there's a big problem that when you have a young child who's very overweight, then what do? You have to feed them what they need. You cannot restrict too much. That's not healthy.
And then encourage exercise and things of that nature.
Exactly.
Okay. So what's the next step for our country? What do we need to do to help really attack this problem? What do you think is, you know,
Well, it
the
can
next
start.
step?
It can start in the schools. More money has to be put towards the food. That's a part of it.
Yeah, better food choices in the schools, better food, you know, education for parents and individuals.
And a lot of times, eating healthier is more costly.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. That's a problem. I mean, organic, free-range chicken, organic, it's costs you more than if you were just going to go buy regular.
And how many times have you seen with your clients they've lost weight over a healthy period of time, and their diabetes disappears, and their blood pressure goes away, and their
and
their
cholesterol meds go down. Everything can be helped.
Everything can be helped. Everything can go away, and
I'm not saying it's going to be cured. That's
Right.
not, you know, you
No,
can't
no.
promise, overpromise and underdeliver, but
But statistically speaking, most
Things get
clients
better.
will get better just because their body doesn't have that stress on it. And
Right.
That's the main thing.
and without the stress on it, and if you're doing weight-bearing exercise, you're increasing your bone density, you're taking your calcium, because as we get older, you will fall eventually. You'll fall down, and if you don't break, that's a good thing.
Right. Well, I think what you do is probably one of the most important things actually in the healthcare industry these days. If people were to take the time to understand the importance of an expert like yourself, I think that it would be critical.
I actually think of myself as healthcare,
Yeah.
but once the healthcare system that we have in this country is actually sick care, because you have to get sick before you enter it.
That's correct.
So I'm actually healthcare.
You're the health guy because you can prevent a
keep
lot of
you-
these problems in the future, and that's
Absolutely.
that's important. I mean, our medical
Absolutely.
costs are rising at such an enormous rate, and a very
As our
large
weight- as our
percentage-
weights are.
As our weights are, and,
Right.
and I think healthcare is related to that. So.
I do.
So I want to thank you for coming on the show today. It's been a pleasure, very informative.
Thanks
and
for having me.
I want to thank everyone for viewing. Our next guest is going to be Dr. Charles Coppola. He's going to be speaking about allergies and a new technique to help reduce and eliminate allergies from your body. Thank you very much. Have a good night.